Hello, besties! Welcome to Martinis with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork all the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV show. And gossip and juicy are the theme of the night because, as you guys know, we got the season finale of Vanderpump Rules and press for Ariana, where she's wrapping up the season. I'm gonna say it with my open chest, with my hand on my heart. She was the MVP of this season, and I'm happy to see how much love she's getting, not only from fans but from the media. And we're gonna be talking about all the stuff on this episode. I have a very special friend of mine coming on too to join us in the conversation. I love her so much, and let me bring her to the stage right now. Let's bring Caitlin from Besties by Bravo. Hello,
Hi.
bestie. How
Hey,
are you?
bestie. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, I'm pretty sure you are just as shocked as I am. I'm shook. I'm ready to talk about it because we have so much to dissect from last night episode. I think I'm gonna call this a supersized episode because even if it's just about one episode alone, it feels like we saw a full ass 3 hour Titanic movie where everybody is just sinking, and especially Sandoval and Rachel were just going down by the second.
Yeah, I fortunately got to have you on my own podcast just before this, and so I'll be repeating myself that I was taking notes for I feel like hours. I not feel like it was hours upon hours upon hours. Um, this was every moment there was something. Um, they left. Apparently, there are going to be stones left unturned according to how the reunion's going to go, but this I just it's crazy seeing some of it with our own eyes, even though we knew it was coming. It just hit you in the gut, man. It was,
And
woo.
like you said, those who follow me on Twitter know that I live tweet as it's happening. And
Mhm.
usually some shows you can do much with what you're watching without repeating yourself. But on this episode, every frame, every action, every move was worth to tweet. I pretty much watched the show for like 2 hours to get all these screen grabs for my tweets because my jaw was on the floor every single time that I saw a comment. I'm like, this is brand new information. This is a very strong feeling.
Yeah.
This is a very strong message, and we're gonna get into that when we get to the part between Ariana and Tom. Those first 10 minutes of the show
Ugh,
were by far one of the most, uh, I would say, interesting, the strongest the Brow has had in a very long
compelling.
time. It was
Mhm.
compelling. I mean, her feelings and the way that she processed them and was able to express them in such a poised manner. I
Yeah.
give her props because I will be dragging the hell out of Tom by his fake mustache
Oh, yeah.
looking thing.
I would
I
love to see
like,
you just rip that thing off. I wonder if it's even real.
I
Well, we
know.
saw him shave it on the How I Met doll show, so whatever, but yeah, she was so precise and so I mean, the way she articulates her thoughts, I don't know that I could even practice to be that good. I genuinely was, impressed doesn't do justice how I felt about her in that moment. I was like, "Mother. Hi,
I
mother."
know. And it's crazy how this episode starts. I think Bravo did an amazing job
Mhm.
editing this final episode. Whoever did the editing deserved all the awards because that intro for the finale was just genius. The way that they incorporated the Watch What Happened live, between and the reaction that Sheena had when Rachel admitted that the sexiest Tom was Sandoval. Her face, you can tell Sheena was very taken back by her
Yeah.
answer. And then we go into Sandoval explaining how it happened and how he nonchalant admits that he will normally delete stuff like that. He just forgot. He just forgot this time around.
It was just a busy day, Eddie. Come on. It was chaotic. He can't be expected to delete like these explicit videos with his mistress. Jeez.
Between
Wasn't too much.
him, his low budget band, his like cover band that only sounds like one of those like wedding people. You know, when you go to a wedding and they try to have these like bands that just like sing covers and it's like really awful, but you just kind of pretend that they're good and you just get drunk enough to kind of
Yeah.
like deal with it and just kind of
Karaoke.
vibe with it. Yeah. So
Hmm.
between that and that corner uh, bodega looking restaurant. I mean, he's so busy right now. So busy that he
Super
forgot
busy.
to delete a FaceTime between him and Rachel. And that's how Ariana gets to find out. He found out about it the night that Sheena and Rachel were at Watch What Happened Live while she was partying and she was supporting Tom Sandoval's new single. I mean, I mean, you can write this stuff, you can make this stuff up.
No.
That's how you know this shit is real. You can't make this stuff up. This is not some kind of like, not even Hollywood can come up with this kind of stuff.
No.
She
It would be
she
too
was
unbelievable.
yes, she was out with Tom Sandoval celebrating him and his band, releasing a single that I don't know who listened to it because I haven't.
What's the name of the
And
single, Tom?
I don't even know. The lightning bolt in the bottle, I guess. But at the same time, Sheena and Rachel are in New York City with Andy, and Sheena gets the news that that everything was happening, and Rachel admit to it, and then we know that there's some kind of physical altercation. And as Sheena said, she couldn't punch her because her nails were too long. She didn't want to break her nails, and I believe that those nails are
Uh,
expensive.
Listen, listen, I go every 2 weeks and my nails are like a quarter of the length of hers, like maybe half at most. And like if I make a fist, my nails would be broken. Like I'll show y'all on YouTube. Look at my palm when I try and make a fist with these nails. First of all, they're a little sharp, so remember that. But I loved that moment where Sheena's like, "Look, I can't go like this. It'll break my nail. I'd break my thumb. Okay, so I'm not gonna. I'm not a puncher. Okay, I cannot punch. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit." We got that whole moment from her. I love that.
And honestly, like, there is a line that hit me really hard because as somebody who has, met Ariane in person and know how great of a person she is, she
Mm,
mentioned on the show that on Wednesday night, which is the night that she discovered what these
mhm.
two demons were doing, she says, like, I learned on Wednesday night that there are evil people in this world, and sometimes they are the people closest to you, which is very true, very true. um I mean, it was her partner of 10 years and her so-called best friend. I mean, and this is so cliche. This is the worst part. This is so cliche.
I mean, we would have all been very upset if it had been some random. And we would have been upset if it were, I don't know. I, listen, it should have been Miami Girl, but Rachel, God, which by the way, justice for Miami Girl, apparently. Um, God, what do you think the conversations between Tom Sandoval and Rachel are like that are so deeply connected and supportive? Because
I mean, he in the previous episode he was saying that he wanted somebody to go to the beach and do mushrooms. I like and hold hands and do whatever. I'm
and
like,
go hang
dude,
gliding.
yes. I'm like, dude, you're 40 years old. Like, grow the fuck up.
Hang
Like,
gliding,
come
like,
on.
dude, what are you're flying through the air and you're like,
Yes.
"What? No, I'm not gonna talk to you then."
And the funniest part is like somebody actually point out that Ariana and Sandal has done that in the past. So he's just truly like a psychopath
Ugh.
who just felt like he was getting older, so he needed a much younger woman to hype him up and make him feel young again. And I'm like, dude, that's so embarrassing because you had somebody by your side that is been through the ups and downs and through skinny jeans and combat boots, dude. Like, come on. If somebody went through, I'm telling you, and I'm saying this because I grew up in the early 2000s. I'm
Yeah.
an elder millennial. I'm in my late 30s. I'm gonna be 40 this year. So I went
Eddie, you
through.
look fantastic, by the way, for
Thank you.
almost 40. Yes. See,
Uh,
and you don't see Eddie acting like Sandoval.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I went through the 2000s with the skinny
Oh
jeans and the
yeah.
combat boots. So anyone that stood by your side through that era, that is a good friend, that's a good partner, that is family because whoever made those decisions to wear those clothing, including myself,
Oh
that's why
yeah.
I burn every single one of my pictures. They don't exist because if God forbid for some reason I become a public figure, I don't want this to come back to me.
Eddie Regina Georged himself out of existence from the early 2000s.
Yes.
And especially, I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to call it out for men in particular, but men who wore the skinny jeans who had no ass, it was like, it just didn't work. I don't know how we women made it work. Now that I'm not allowed to wear skinny jeans anymore since Gen Z says we can't, listen, if you bitches start saying we are in low rise jeans, I'm gonna tell you to F off because I'm not doing it. Okay.
Yes.
Not happening. That's number one. Number two, but the skinny jeans, okay, fine. I'm not wearing them anymore. Do I still have combat boots that are cute? Yes. But anyway, those pictures, Tom Sandoval didn't burn his. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and producer got a hand of them, and uh, once again, production and the editors deserve a freaking award just for this episode alone.
When are the Emmys going to start like putting a few more reality TV categories?
I
Like
know.
we really need that.
I think it's time because it will be the perfect way for Ariana to go to the Emmys. Now that she's been pretty much going to every single important event and
Yeah.
seeing every single media outlet that is huge and important, not some blog from like us in the little corner in our houses.
Okay,
But like
well, still.
I mean, she's doing so great.
She's on
And
the Today Show today. My gosh.
yes, and we will talk about it. I want to talk about
Yeah.
this press tour that she did this morning because that is unbelievable. That is an achievement, and we're gonna celebrate that. But
Yes.
during the episode, I mean, right now she's in a happy place. She's going around in the media expressing how stronger she is and how much better she is without this worm with a mustache. But on this episode, we see a very um, I will say insane conversation between Sandoval and Ariana. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's like seeing two people with different life path in different
Mm.
places as immaturity level. I'm talking about the maturity level,
Oh
especially
yeah.
that part. I mean, and let's not forget that Sandoval is a few years older than Ariana. And
You wouldn't
Ariana
know it.
showed such a very smart, poised. She kept them together. Once again, if I give her props because if I was in that position, table will be flying, glasses will be breaking, the house will be burning. It will be burning down. I'm telling you, I appreciate that, and I still get shivers down my spine with that scene when Sandal walks in nonchalant and said like, "Do you want anything?" And she said like, "For you to die." For you
Yeah.
to die.
hmm Because that was the rawest emotion she had in that moment. Yes. Because and the way he was the victimhood of, well, it's inevitable. Yeah, Sandoval, it's inevitable. But you know what wasn't inevitable? You're putting your pee in Rachel's vagina.
Your 4-year-old cocky cock, like James
Your
said.
stinky 40-year-old cocky.
Cocky cock. I'm never gonna. I'm telling you, from now on, I'm gonna call Dick cocky cock.
Cocky cock.
Period. Period.
Real cute. I'm sure it's going to be a huge turn on.
Oh my gosh.
Need all the tips I can get.
Honestly, during that conversation, I noticed that Ariana just came into that room to let him know that she is done, that
Oh,
she's
yeah.
ready to move on, and then you see Sandoval just playing the gaslighting bitch that he is towards her, trying to make her feel like because the way that she was acting or whatever is the reason why he went and fucked her friend.
I, the actual sheer audacity of that was, I, I mean, if your mouth didn't drop open when he like really, because we had heard that he was going to do this. We've been hearing, yes, he gaslit her the whole way, but then to actually watch it play out was so like, oh my god, I cannot believe I am seeing this with my own eyes and hearing it with my own ears. Just
Like one of the strongest moments of that conversation is when Sandoval is trying to explain how Rachel made him feel and about his friendship with her. And Rihanna, like, Blaine stops saying, like, I don't give a fuck about Rachel. Like, I don't give a fuck. And that's good. I loved how this conversation, Ariana made it, she made it about them too. She didn't
mm,
talk about Rachel. She didn't talk about
right.
anything else. She wanted this conversation about both of their feelings.
Hmm.
Instead, you get Sandoval blaming it on her and everybody else but himself. He didn't apologize, you know? And to be honest, like I think that the best way to explain how Sandoval was acting, it was like a teenager who just got, dumped by his girlfriend in high school, and he was trying to get back to her by going after his best friend. I mean, it was so childish.
Yeah, it was very sophomoric and very very woe is me, woe is I, completely unaffected about the way it affected the person he keeps saying in this episode over and over. I love and care about Ariana. I love and care. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't do even half of what you did to someone you wouldn't do that to a stranger. You don't do that. If you care even about a human being as a person, you don't do that. It's wild to me how he could repeatedly hear people say to him, "You are blaming Ariana. You are using me as the scapegoat," over and over, and yet he won't stop doing it. And it's
Yes.
it's like, dude, what do you not he doesn't listen at all. He has those ears are there purely for aesthetic reasons, I must assume, because I'm just what else is he using them for
Or to
except to hear
like
his own
try
voice?
to, yeah, trying to, yeah, that's what it is, trying to hear his own voice as he sings out like off key.
Mhm.
um
They're not doing their job.
that's why he couldn't hear Ariana explain to him how she was feeling, because he couldn't listen the same way that he can freaking get a key right while he's singing.
Mm-mm.
So during that conversation as well, Ariana said one of the most powerful words that I had seen anyone on the Bravo universe said. And I'm gonna
Mm.
read it verbatim because I think it's not only something that she said it to him, I think it's something that each person should know when the time comes to always create boundaries and make
Mm.
sure that you are always reminding the other person, even though I was there for you, you know what? I'm gone. She said to Sandoval, I regret every moment that I stood up for you, defended you, support you. You are worth, and she whispered, nothing. And I want you to feel that deep in your soul. That to me was poetic.
Mm.
Like she said, like, I want you to feel the pain that I'm feeling right now, because obviously you have none. You come here like sitting right there with your freaking, once again, mustache that I don't know why he thought that was like a look, because he looked like a creeper from the 70s.
Yeah, porn
Um,
stash. Ooh.
yes, disgusting. So I'm happy that she was so laser focused on creating boundaries and
Mm.
uh, telling him exactly what he needed to hear. She didn't go the easy route, which is just get emotional and start just like getting physical or like throwing things or like saying words that mean nothing. Every single word that she said was meaningful and powerful. So kudos to Ariana for you know being able to, even in that stressful horrible situation that she was put on by these fucking idiots, she was able to let them know and let him know what he needed to hear.
Yeah, she eviscerated the hell out of him, and it was beautiful to watch. I mean, what else can I say?
Especially when she said to him, "Any last words before we never speak again?" That to me was like, that's how you truly deep out, like,
Dip out.
send the
Yeah,
work.
there you go.
Yeah,
That's the true
he
meaning of dip out. Except, you know what? I she didn't dip out. She freaking like she marched out and she said I mean, there was Sandoval dipped out the way he skulked out of there. It was like, "Oh, dude, come on." I mean, just cowered all the way out.
And that's why he went to Sworce's apartment because he's a fucking coward. He went to the only person
There you
in
go.
this freaking cast that truly was like, you know what? Let me go to this guy because I'm gonna roll in and cry. That was exactly what he did. As soon as he walked into Sworce's apartment after the conversation with Ariana, you can tell that Sandoval cared more for Sworce than for Ariana. From the moment that he walked in, the way that he rushes to cry on his shoulder and tell him how sorry he is. And I'm like, dude, like, come on. Like, this is what you needed to do to Ariana, who was, quote unquote, the love of your life. You sat there cold and stone cold with your dead eyes and your gaslighting words to run to your best friend. That, by the
Mm.
way, I still believe that Sandoval is a big part of Source's failed marriage,
Oh, yeah.
100%. Uh,
Absolutely.
and is also to blame for for the rocky start of Swords and Sandy's, which it was funded by his parents and Swords's little savings. So he was fucking everybody up by what he did. So going to Swords and just just see him embracing him and crying and all this stuff, I was disgusted because I was like, dude, you have no heart. You
Now
are
he's
garbage.
Yeah, no, he certainly didn't have to, dip into his very, antiquated acting class skills that he had learned somewhere along the line,
A dollar acting class. That's what it
yeah,
is. He
yeah,
paid a dollar in a corner of LA, and that's what he got.
there are plenty of 'em. I mean, you could see him visibly trying not to blink to try and force tears to come into his eyes during that conversation with, Ariana, but, I mean, once he walks into, yeah, Schwartz's, he's just absolutely sobbing, and Schwartz is just kind of like, "Okay, yeah, like, I'm so sorry for you," because then guess what else happens? Schwartz is like, "I care more about me than I care about you." Even though he's, like, trying to pretend he cares, it's just kind of like, ugh, I don't
And the
know.
way that he kept bringing up the Yelp reviews from the business, I'm like, I mean, do I believe on boycotting a business? Yes, I do. So,
Am I
so
petty?
I
Yes, I am.
yes, I am. Who like we were talking about the that review with Rachel's head on a cockroach, and I'm gonna tell you this: whoever took the time to do that, you are my kind of people. Contact me, DM me. I want you on my show. I want you to tell me the inspiration behind it because that was pure art. That was that was amazing. I'm here for the Rachel cockroach meme.
It was I mean, when I saw that, because I discovered it by I was like, "Oh, I gotta go look at these Yelp reviews." I pull up Yelp and I'm like, "Schwartz and Sandys, let's see." And that picture And Rachel is just like smiling in the picture they use. I mean, Rachel's had some intense Photoshop happening to her ever since Scandal broke out. I mean, Sheena photoshopping Lala onto her, which it's weird. Did you notice this? Sorry, I don't mean to be off subject, but those pictures where Sheena had Lala photoshopped in as Rachel, did you not notice that like either Rachel has a really big head or Lala has like a tiny frame and head? Because go look it up. It's actually hysterical when you go and look at them because it's like disproportionate. And you can really tell it in the photo that Lala posted that was photoshopped. Remember, you know how she did that immediately after? It's like, why does Lala's face look so weird on the aside from it being photoshopped? No, it's because Rachel's head is gigantic. I can say this because I have a huge head. I do. I have giant head. Giant hat sizes over here. Okay, anyway.
So, in a different part of the episode, we see Ariana with the gays because well, that's what we do. We go gossip and trying to get all the tea and make our friend feel better. They were
Yes.
talking about how Ariana found out about this whole thing. Like I mentioned before, it happened the night that she was out supporting Sandoval's whatever music or noise he's trying to sell to the people. Then she
Mhm.
told Katie and everybody that this video that she found on Tom Sandoval
His phone, yeah.
was at Source's house, and Katie is like, "What?" I had the same reaction too. I was like, "How freaking crazy!" Because I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I'm gonna be like super honest. I'm very risky with my with like what I think about sex. I like to be risky. I like to go to have like crazy fantasies or stories and whatever. But one thing that I'm not going to do is go to my best friend's house. I don't care if my best friend's house. Yeah, I don't care if my best friend is straight or gay. If I'm going to his place to do anything, he better have a two-bedroom apartment. I'm not
Yeah.
going into his own bedroom and do some kind of sexual stuff, knowing that that's where my best friend sleeps and do his own business. It's freaking weird.
So
Weird.
yeah, I have to so this is funny. My ex-husband and I almost moved into that building. Like we that Schwartz is living in. When I tell you like we literally put the deposit down and we went to it was before move-in day and I was getting a weird feeling about it and we go and check out what our actual apartment is going to be because you know how it is especially in LA. I'm sure it's this way a lot of places. You see the model apartment or you see like a random empty one they're like, "Oh, it's a similar floor plan." And I was like, "Absolutely not. Are we fucking moving in here?" Because I'm pretty sure it was a two-bedroom apartment and they were right on top of each other, right next to each other. And I was like, what is the point of having two bedrooms if they're going to be right next to each other? So even if Schwartz has a two-bedroom apartment, dude, I no, you're like and plus, where would he have had room in that apartment with all those boxes that are still packed up?
I know. Doesn't he have like a rack of clothing in the middle of the living room at one point? Like that's how freaking tiny his apartment is.
I
Like
mean,
it's
and there's
so fucking weird.
nothing wrong with a tiny apartment, but there is if you're gonna go like FaceTime your mistress
Yeah, that's what I mean.
and diddle yourselves in on
His little cocky cock, like
a little cocky cock. That's why it was stinky. It was in Schwartzy's apartment. No wonder. It all
you
makes
know,
sense now.
Katie mentioned BravoCon. I was at BravoCon last year, and
Mm-hmm.
I witnessed the infamous now Tom and Tom hoodie. The what if Rachel was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's like the Monica Lewinsky dress for the Bravo universe right now. That
Shit, yes.
was now that we look back to it, I'm pretty sure that maybe just maybe, the inside of the hoodie was probably covered in source
Substances.
some yeah Sandoval's main juice.
Or yeah, or it's even like even take it a step further. It's very much like the Marilyn Monroe dress, the "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" that she wore for. I almost said James Kennedy. Whoops, President Kennedy.
Yeah,
Wow,
James
all
Kennedy is the number
roads
one
lead to
guy.
Bravo.
I know. So yeah, I mean, when she mentioned the Rachel was wearing that dress at BravoCon, and Tom Swartz told Katie that it was not for him, that she wasn't being a fangirl for Swords but for another person. So that other person is Sandoval, which by the way he denied that on the show, and Katie's like, come on, you're not gonna make me look like a crazy person. You're not gonna get
No.
away with this bullshit. You told me at BravoCon. So, and like I mentioned before, this happened. This started happening before BravoCon. While I was at BravoCon, I was talking to Ariana at this party, and Swords and Sandoval were talking in a different area of the party, and Sandoval kept coming in and out. I think at one point he thought I was straight and I was hitting on Ariana, and I was like, no, dude, I'm actually more likely to hit on you than hit on her, but thank you so much. So then I saw Rachel also kind of mingle it with them, and I feel if my memory doesn't fail me, I think Swords, Rachel, and Sandoval left before Ariana. But I don't wanna start gossip about it. I don't think that's even necessary. I'm just saying that seeing what
Seeing
I
it with your
saw
own
during
eyes, yeah.
BravoCon, I I didn't know about Scandal at that point. We
No.
didn't know about it. So to me, it was just like a cast that just got along. So because Ariana was just happy to be there,
Yeah.
happy to say, I know Sandal was telling her, hey, we have to go soon or whatever, and that's what I think he left before her, um, because I remember that as I was leaving, I decided to stay an extra kind of half an hour because she said to me like your champagne glass is almost empty. And I said, you know what? Let me get another one, and we stick around a little longer. So I got
Yeah.
another drink. So for that, like, I mean, at that point to me that meant nothing. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval and Rachel and Sword like talking in a different area of the party, kind of whatever was happening. Now that I look back to it, knowing what I know, I'm like, did I just witness scandal happening in front of my eyes? And I just
You sure did. I think you did.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
BravoCon was a crazy, crazy ride, and I'm looking forward to it this year again. So, and I know
Ugh.
you're coming, so it's gonna be
Yes.
fun. Be ready. Um, Another person who called it from the beginning, back in September, was Lala.
Lala, she doesn't usually miss, does she?
Oh no, she knows she's good. She is good.
Yeah. I mean, everyone keeps trying to say, oh, yeah, but Lala, she was a mistress, all of that. Okay. That is such a separate type of thing. I'm not justifying anything. I don't know. There are things we don't know, right? So, with that though, I'm kind of like, if I hear one more person be like, oh, because I said, oh, Lala always has your back. Yeah, and your man's front. Get the hell out of here, man. I am so God. Okay. She has learned. She is sober. She's moved on. Let it go, people. Let it go.
I
Anyway.
know, and I mean, Lala not only called out Sandoval and Rachel's, whatever they were doing behind Ariana's back. But she also mentioned on her confessional about, you know, they need to open up the case with Billy.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the thing is there were articles like Reality Blurb had an article out. I want to say it was maybe 2018 that one of the reasons Billy Lee said she was leaving was because of these alleged rumors going around about her and Sandoval hooking up.
And they were going out recently together. Like she was staying at his
Yeah,
place.
God.
Um, they were photographed like going to places, and she was hanging out with Ariana right at the moment when scandal happened. She rushed to Ariana's side, but suddenly she went to Sandoval and she kept posting stuff like, "Oh, I'm friendly with both of them, so I'm not picking sides." But it's very strange that um, that happened, and once again you don't want to gossip about it without proof, but at the same time, when there are signs and flags all over the place,
Yeah.
something is happening.
I agree. She clearly stayed the night over at their house while Ariana was out of town. She was wearing the same clothes and left with her dog. The next morning was photographed doing that. She was helping Sandoval like move something.
Yeah.
I know you saw this where he's like wearing some weird back brace, some like headband, and looking just I don't know, crazy as hell. Like he just looked nuts. I don't know
Yeah.
how else to put it.
I mean, it's the world of Vanderpump rules. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like I always said, like I feel like LA is so big, yet they find a way just to fuck between each other. Like such a tiny group.
It is. And that's the thing is like, yes, LA is so big and that's part of it is and for those who don't know, I lived there for 10 years. And it's like when I say that if you live in the valley and you want to date someone in let's say Santa Monica, that is a long distance relationship. I don't care what anybody says because
You
I
need a
am
passport. You need a
yes.
passport to get there.
Yeah, if I am getting on the 405 to come see you for more than 15 minutes, yes, absolutely. So that's part of it. Like, even from Hollywood to Studio City, I remember I dated a guy that lived in Studio City, and it was like such a freaking trek to go back and forth living in Hollywood. Okay. Like, this is, I don't, so I can justify some of it, but they all can drive from the valley, from Valley Village over to Sir, which is in West Hollywood. Do you know, honey, I am not going to West Hollywood from Valley Village unless there is a very good reason. So they find ways to make it there. They could probably branch out. The Valley has plenty of, I don't know, dum dums who are ex beauty queens too. Not me. I don't live there anymore, so I don't count.
Yeah, and talking about ex beauty queens, I gotta mention how James Kennedy was freaking genius to call Rachel to kind of like ask her question and at the same time throw some major shade. I mean, he
Is shade even
said,
the word? It was like, oh,
I mean,
it was great.
James this season especially, I mean, he has always been very sharp with his commentary. He has always been very British with his humor, which is
Yeah.
very sharp, cold, but to the point.
Yeah.
So when he called her and she stayed on the phone while he told her, you literally just like trashed it for like Sandoval's little cocky cock. And Katie and Ali were dying laughing. He said like his stinky 40-year-old cock. I was dying. I'm like,
What?
how this man has this mental kind of like process of grabbing words and putting them together, and it's just freaking hysterical. Like we saw in the trailer for the reunion, the poopy head thing. It's still in my head. The
Poo
calling
heads.
us, yeah, poopy heads. Two
Both
of
of you.
you.
That's you. Poo heads. I was
I
like,
know.
what are you gonna put me in timeout now? Yes, James.
And when he called Sandoval a worm with a mustache, I'm like, dude, like this guy is truly the number one guy of the group. To be
How did
honest,
that happen? I
I
can't
know.
believe it. Can't believe it. He was just here in Denver and I was like so upset that I couldn't go to a show. I wanted to go and like the videos I saw of it looked epic. It looked like
Yeah.
so much fun. He was pouring pumptinis in people's mouths. First of all, still COVID is a thing. I don't pour a pumptini in my mouth from the bottle that you poured in the girl's mouth down the row. But still, yeah, he is hysterical. I don't understand why Rachel stayed on the phone. I would have hung up by then. It just kind of shows how she is just like dying for the attention and also uh, it's wind blowing between her ears.
Yeah. That
Nothing.
little, yeah, she probably has no once again no I don't understand how some people don't react to some interaction with other people. Like I can tell when people are trying to be shady. I know when people are trying to be mean. I know when people are trying to be funny, and I know when to engage and when to disengage. She
Yeah.
needed to learn from freaking Meredith Mark to walk away or to hang up the phone when she doesn't need to be engaging with the conversation. And she
So
should have just go outside and just touch the grass after
Touch
James
the
Kennedy
grass.
after James Kennedy pretty much told her that she destroyed her life for Sandalwood's cocky cock.
I'm so sorry. You just gave me this visual of Rachel being like, someone told me I should touch the grass. So where is some grass? And I can just see her grabbing onto the grass and, oh no, that's dog poo poo. Like, I just could see, what is this supposed to do for me?
It's like when she was having this really cringy conversation with Sandoval, which it
Oh,
was to me was so disgusting. The way that they were talking to each other, the way that he looked like a creeper and she seems like either high or really aloof of what's happening around her. That first off, when Sandal was explaining her whatever and he called her Ariana, she said like,
oh,
"You just called me Ariana," and he didn't even flinch.
oh my God. Eddie, I was like on my knee. I was off of my couch and on my knees. I was like, he just called you Ariana, and she just neither one of them flinched. She
I
was
know.
like, "You just called me Ariana," and no one acknowledges it. It's like,
Yes, that's the best part. Nobody did anything. They just carry on with the conversation. Not even like
I
I'm sorry for calling you a different name. Nothing. They just carry on like nothing happened.
yeah, I would. I was dying. I couldn't. I would jump out of my skin. Just
And let's not forget when they were talking about their families, and Settle said like they love you, and she said like I love you too, and he said like
no,
no, I said they, but I love you too. And like
no,
at that point, I'll be like, where is the near window? Because I'm jumping off the window. Like please,
no. I'd be
I would
like
have
I
run.
use Graham as a parachute and jump out the balcony.
I'd be like, okay, let me just go for a walk, breathe
I
some
can't
fresh
even sit
air.
still. I just am like, oh, my skin suit's uncomfortable. Like I just and she's in a studio apartment. There's nowhere to
Yes.
go. She's gonna have to go touch a wall instead of the grass. She's gonna put both hands out
I
and
would
she can touch both walls.
I'd be so embarrassed that I will literally just hide myself inside of the refrigerator.
Yeah, because can you imagine after you have just done all of this has blown up, and then you mistake him saying they
They
love
love
you
you.
for I love you. Oh my God, Eddie, like my
I'd
shirt
be like
suddenly is just too tight. I just
I'd be like, okay, let me go to the kitchen. I open the door for the fridge, get in, and be like, good night.
but she only had to take she didn't even have to if she was gonna go into the kitchen, she wouldn't have to take a full step. She could just reach. She could lean over her.
Oh my gosh, that was to me so I had secondhand embarrassment for her
Oh,
because I mean, if you mistake all the words, it's funny, but whatever. But the "I love you" part,
oh my God. After calling her Ariana. No.
right?
Oh my
I mean,
God.
like right after that, there is a sign that said like, after filming this scene, Rachel turned off her phone
I
and
would
was not
too.
seen or heard from for weeks. Let me repeat that because I know that I was laughing. Said after filming this scene, Rachel turned off her phone and was not seen or heard from weeks. And now we know why.
You would be able to find my ass too.
I will move to a different country, change my name too.
I wouldn't be Caitlin anymore. I'd be Catherine because Rachel doesn't go for much of a reach when she changes her name. That's number one. No, you wouldn't find me either. I'd be gone. I'd be in a
Yeah,
grave. I'd be in my own grave. I'd be underground. Goodbye.
and when they showed that screen on about her not replying or not seeing or whatever, all I heard in my head was Lisa Rena saying like, I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw, this time Rachel Leviss again. You know that she did
Yeah.
that when Denise Richards,
Yeah. Oh
kind
yeah.
of quit the show. Well, that's what I picture in my head. I was like, this
Oh,
is
those were the
fucking
days, weren't
crazy.
they?
But honestly, I wouldn't want to be seen if I mistaken they love you for I love you too.
And I just, oh my God. Like, because it's like she has just lost everything. And the look on his face as he's like, I went from someone who was in Mensa as a child to someone who can't even tell the difference between I and they. Like, like that look on his face, he was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I know.
My God, what have I done? Like,
It's like honestly that scene alone between them two kind of like explain why they got together. They are both really, really out of touch, dumb, um, maybe unaware of anything, and then too aware of everything at the same time.
she made him feel
So
like the smartest person in the room. That's why he loved.
yes, yes, that's exactly what happened. He literally needed somebody to gas him up, to make him feel wanted, to make him feel young. And he found somebody
Oh,
who, did that by making him feel the smarter person in the room. Because to be honest, between Ariana and Sandoval, we know who their brain was and who
oh,
the beauty
honey,
was
yes.
too at the same time.
Oh, honey, yes. Because he also complained to her, you made me feel like I'm an idiot. Well, maybe because you
Yes.
are.
Yeah, maybe instead of going around trying to create a cover band for low budget weddings, you should maybe be reading a book.
Honey, it's something like Dr. Wendy said, something other than Dr. Seuss, okay?
Oh my gosh. And it better have more than just pictures in the book.
Yes, we need something other than a picture book.
When when we see Ariana with Lisa Vanderpump,
Mm.
that scene right there, um, I appreciate how Lisa embraces Ariana. She truly was crying. She truly was
Yeah.
feeling the moment, and as we know, even she offered Ariana a place to stay if she needed to. And trust me, I will be packing those suitcases before even she finished it, saying, "You can move
Out the door.
in." I'll be already moved in.
Yep. Yep, out the door.
you,
I
I would
everything's
love
pink.
to do
I'm
that.
good. I'm good. Yeah, everything's pink. Listen, I my change my name to Pink. I'm done. I'm there. I
Hon-
You wouldn't even notice
Honestly,
me.
like, can you imagine living in Villa Rosa? I would
I
freaking die.
I cannot I you
Like,
know what? I'm going to try and imagine to manifest that for
I
myself.
will not care if the swans are gonna try to bite me every time that I try to get
Okay.
in. Remember when Kyle
You
every time?
Yeah. Okay, so you did just get like I am okay, I have an irrational fear of a few things, okay? Bees and wasps, I think that's fairly rational, okay? They can be assholes. Yes, save the bees, but fuck the wasps. Um, and certain birds in general, I am scared of them, like especially like swans and geese. They're literally dinosaurs, okay? I I'm not I'm gonna just go into a very brief story. I took my toddler to the zoo. I thought, oh, it's gonna be great. He loves animals. We go, and the only animals that are coming near us are these asshole geese. And I know my child. He's going to run over there and grab one by the neck. And what's going to happen? I'm going to be in the middle of a zoo where people love animals, and I'm going to have to be kicking a goose to get it the hell away from my son. And I am carrying him, and he's so mad at me. He's screaming, rolling around on the ground outside of the zoo. We've not been back to the zoo. Okay. There you go.
That
Um,
was the end of it all
yep.
with the
Uh-huh.
zoo.
Forever. Forever.
So during this visit, Ariana tells Lisa about Tom Swartz's text, which I'm gonna kind of read it because it's really quite long. It's really fucking dumb too. It's so
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
It's terrible.
But it kind of says like morning, every morning, not good morning, no nothing, just morning, like, okay, like nothing is happening. Morning,
No
Ariana.
big.
Hopefully you are resting at least a little easier now. That right there to me sounds like freaking. Uh, if I read that, if I'm going through what Ariana is going through, and that's what I read from somebody who's supposed to be a really close friend of mine, I would have finished and blocked that number immediately
I
because
can't.
that was so freaking. I don't know. It made me really upset when I read that. So he
Uh-huh.
continues as he continues saying, "I'm not here to make excuses for Tom or justify his actions. He confided in me, and I told him what he needed to do: sit you down and tell you everything out of respect for everything you guys have built together. I guess he was about to tell you, and this all blew up, and you got humiliated in the worst way possible. I'm not gonna try to tell his story. You should jet set somewhere fabulous
Oh,
and just effed. I guess because they blew up some of the words, I couldn't read the rest. So say, I
yeah.
don't want to kick my guy when he's down, but God, the hope you don't have too much towards me. It's kind of weird. The whole situation is just effed. I don't want to kick my guy when he's down, but my God, the amount of anxiety and backlash I'm getting because of his actions are insane. Anyways, um, I know you are gonna be just fine. You and
Oh,
I, no, yeah, no, you, and you know that you are gonna be just fine. First of all, I want to dissect this text real quick into pieces.
please.
Like I said before, that the way that he started the text, no, I would have blocked that person almost like in a millisecond. I don't care. Hopefully, you are resting at least a little easier. Like, okay, thank you, but no, it just blew up in my face. Like, get out of here. Second of all, when he goes and start telling her you should jet set to somewhere fabulous, I'm like, don't tell me
Wait.
what to do. We are not that close anymore because you decided to not kick your friend while he's down, but he's not down. He did what he did because he was being an asshole and a douchebag and a piece of shit. And then ending the text message by telling her that he's dealing with anxiety and all the backlash that he's getting for the actions that Sandoval did and whatever. I'm like, no, dude, this is not about you. This text message should have been in any shape and form about whatever you're going through. This is
Yeah.
not her problem. This is a you problem, not an Ariana problem. Let's make that clear. At the same time, when he ends, you know you're gonna be just fine. Yes, she will because she's a strong woman. But at that point, it's not his job to tell her that everything's gonna be
No, it's not
fine
his place.
when
No.
he's hugging and kissing and bumping and crying and probably jerking off with Sandoval in the same room.
Yes, exactly. There you go. I mean, she did not need a back pat from him.
No,
That's and she did not need permission to go jet set somewhere. Like, dude, what? Like, this is not how Stella got her groove back. This is maybe eventually, yeah, but not right this second. This is when you say, "I am so sorry. I should have told you. I asked him to tell you, and I should have taken it upon myself to tell you, Ariana, because I consider you a friend as well." But clearly, he does not consider her a friend. He doesn't. Schwartz thinks of no one but Schwartz. Clearly,
I know. And like Katie said in the confessional, she said it. She said they are just each other's true disgusting lovers. It is true. Like I said it before, from my perspective, Sandoval has a lot to do with the downfall of Katie and Swartz's relationship. I do believe that Swartz is somehow is been a pawn and a big part of the chest that Sandoval was because
mm,
he was covering up for Sandoval too. So him acting like a puppy dog, which really fucking annoys me right now. I've been saying this before. I found that so endearing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's just Swords being Swords, a little puppy dog. He acts like a freaking golden retriever every time that he walks into the scene. But now, fast forward to now, and seeing that he's still trying to put the same act, it made me realize that this little idiot is not playing It's not like aloof of what he's doing. He's well aware of what he's doing because he got
Yeah.
away with everything for the past many years that he did because of the way that he was acting. But right
Yeah.
now, since everything is so tense and so real, that his act is just falling apart.
Yeah, I've really been seeing so here's the thing. I have seen Schwartz for who he is just from the beginning. You don't pour a drink over your girlfriend's head
Yeah.
when that's called battery. That's number 1. Number 2, that is not the first time he had poured a drink over a woman's head. He did it to Stassi. Um, I just Schwartz, I've just kind of seen through it. He used that "aw shucks" as a way to really try and back any argument he had. He would do anything he could to make Katie look like she was crazy, and he would just sit back once he had gotten whatever female he was. And now it's been other females aside from Katie this season, so we finally get to see more of that. But he just sits back after he's gotten Katie lit on fire, and he just kind of goes, "Gosh, you're so crazy. What? You need to calm down." And there is a man who has the sheer audacity to even consider behaving that way after they have lit you up. Oh my god. I see through it,
Yeah.
and I could always see that he would just make Katie out to be crazy, and people would always be like, "Oh, why are you such a Katie fan?" I'm like, "Because I don't think she is a psychopath like you guys keep saying she is." Yes, she had some moments during earlier seasons when she would be Tequila Katie and whatever, and the quote unquote rage text. Well, because Tequila Katie would look out for Katie. No one else would. No one stood up for her until Terry Maloney. Thank you very much. Finally. So there you go. That's my soapbox I'm gonna step up off of.
No, yeah, and it's true. Like even on this episode, when Katie and Swords were talking, Sword was still trying to make her seem like the crazy one after he denied telling her that the little Rachel was wearing the Tom Tom hoodie because she's a fangirl of one of the Toms, and but not necessarily him. So and then when he tried to make her look like she was making stuff up and she was crazy, she's like, "Oh no, you're not gonna do this to me this time around. You said it. Like you need to own up to it. Like
And
come
good for
on.
her.
Like I didn't make this up." And then he goes into this really weird really weird, kind of like trying to be deep and then just went south. He was like, I'm just a dude trying to get by in life. I got a
Oh.
lot in my mind, my health, my wealth, my family. There's a fucking man eating Nile crocodile in Florida right now. I was like, what? What the fuck?
Get
What?
out, Schwartz. Get
I'm just I was at that point I was like, I don't even know what this crocodile thing means. Maybe I was like, did I miss something during the show that a crocodile was part of the conversation and he brought it up right now? Or what's happening? And then Katie's like, Swords, you just sound like a country song. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what it is. He only needed he only needed to add beer, a pickup truck, and a gun in the conversation. It would be the perfect country song.
and add in over yonder. I just like, when is there not a man eating crocodile in Florida? Okay, when is there not some sort of shit show there? Really, Schwartz, we were supposed to be concerned this time? God.
When he said like, "There's a fucking man eating Nile crocodile in Florida," I was like, wait a minute, did he just say that? What that's supposed to mean? Is that like some kind of like inside joke that I'm missing? Like what's happening here?
Yeah, like
He was
what?
being fucking serious. That there is a fucking crocodile and he was stressed out about it. Like what the fuck?
Dude, they all eat people. Okay? It just depends on their size, how quickly they can do it.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
ugh.
Uh, another like big moment, even though it was very short, was you know, when we see Ariana finally receiving that visit that we were all waiting for. She walked into the scene wearing flip flops, and I called the flip flops the brand new summer shoot. I mean, she came in and that's her impact. I need those
Kristen.
flip flops. I'm gonna be like kind of like Mean Girl when she said like I'm gonna be like Christine Doty was wearing flip flops, so I got flip flops too.
She was wearing leggings and slides, so I got leggings and slides.
I love that scene though. We haven't seen her in a very long time in the show,
Yeah,
and obviously when she left, she was not in great term with Ariana.
right.
Um,
No,
and I'm
they were in good
happy.
terms, I think, when she left. It
I
was
mean, they were in good terms, but they weren't as close. I mean, it didn't feel like a friendship was there. But then, obviously, friendship happened over years.
yeah.
One thing that I appreciate and I liked because a lot of people keep comparing what happened to Ariana to what happened to her, and she made sure to address that on camera
Yep.
because we need to put those rumors down. Yes, when Ariana and Tom started the relationship, there was still something going on between Tom and Kristen, but she said we were on the outs. We were done. Like we
Mhm.
were moving on. And what happened right after that happened, she slept with what's his face? Cocaine
James.
Bear. No.
Jax.
Was it yeah, was it Jax?
They were together when she was with uh, when she hooked up with Jax.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
Cocaine Bear.
yeah, Cocaine
So
Bear. Uh-huh.
I mean, allegedly, I'm not saying that he does. I'm just saying that he remind me of the movie Cocaine Bear for some reason. But
I know
yeah, I
why.
mean, but honestly, you guys, I'm happy that she addressed that because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, Rihanna also cheated, whatever." I'm like, no, there's two different things. Also,
Yeah,
when that happened, there wasn't a 10-year relationship. There wasn't a house. There wasn't a strong
totally different.
relationship. It was like kind of like early 20s, kind of like teenager love, where you just kind of hold hands and do all this stuff. We all know the Sandoval and her relationship, Kristen relationship, wasn't that great. We
No,
saw it way before Ariana was in the picture. We
it was
knew that they were,
devolving.
yeah, they were like on and off before she got on the show. Ariana got on the show.
Mhm.
So based on what happened, also Tom made Ariana feel like he was already, done with Kristen. And obviously, we found out that it wasn't true, but at the same time, they were, not a healthy relationship. Because
Yeah.
if they were, Kristen said like she wouldn't have slept with other people after that, like right immediately, right there, or even what
Yeah.
she was, even what she was with him too. So it was a different type of relationship. It was a different type of commitment, you
Mhm.
know. So you can compare a early 20s living in a shoebox apartment type of love that is on
No.
and off, and it's every time that they fight and whatever, she goes and pick up the mail in her iconic green dress. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
different thing than having a 10-year relationship with somebody who you have business, who you have a house, you plan a
Mhm.
future with. You are supposed to be in an adult relationship.
So different.
So I'm happy that she made that comment on the show, so we can put those comments and nonsense to bed and to sleep because um, yeah, it's totally different. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't that different, I'm 100% sure that Kristen wouldn't have been happy to be part of this whatsoever.
Absolutely.
And I always feel like instead of hating each other, ladies, instead of hating each other, why don't you just bond over the fact that you hate the same man?
Yeah. I'm always happy to bond over the mutual hate of a man. Call me besties.
That's right. Especially, like we saw, kind of that like kind of ritual, like very spiritual with crystals and stuff. It kind of reminded me of, that they used to call each other the witches of Wiho.
Oh, yeah. Totally
You
miss
know,
those days.
so I'm happy that that kind of vibe got back on the
Yeah.
show. Ariana quoting Beyonce. I was like, she's on her Renaissance era right
Oh,
now.
she sure
When
is.
she said like lighting it ash, light like she said like ashes to ashes and dust to side chicks, and she said like that's
Yeah.
Beyonce, and it's
Yes,
true.
ma'am.
And I'm happy that she's doing that. I'm happy that she is paying dust to Rachel and being the star that she is right now. I mean, we're gonna be talking about it real soon. We're almost done with the episode, but we saw Ariana today in two major shows,
Yeah.
and she's gonna continue being the star because just because people keep saying, "Oh, it's just cheating." Yeah, it's just cheating, but at the same time,
Mm.
it's not about the cheating part. It's how you react to it and the way that Ariana has pick up
Yeah.
herself back up and shine on her own is the reason why we are celebrating it. And I
Absolutely.
hope people out there are watching that are going through a separation, a divorce, or cheating, having a cheating partner. You know what? Sometimes it's better to, instead of crying in a corner, go outside and be the star that you are. Shine brighter than that person. And like Beyonce said, my revenge is the paper. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Ariana has been so wise about it. I mean, of course she has. She's kept her mouth shut until it was time. She waited. And it was so smart because we all were waiting with bated breath to hear from her. And she gave her only interview, or not her only interview, excuse me. She's given plenty of interviews now, but she gave her very first post-scandal interview to Bravo, who it
That's
should have
right.
been given to.
That's right.
She's been just she's so smart. It's like, come on.
Like the two final scenes of the episode, it's between Swords and Ariana, and then we also see Sheena and Sandoval. I want to mention the Ariana and Swords just because once again Swords puppy behavior
Yeah.
not only pissed me off, but pissed everybody else there off. Like
Yeah.
all the girls were like, dude, like fuck off. We don't want to talk to you. Stop acting like nothing is happening because you are part of the problem too. Like get away from here. And then Ariana spoke to him and told him, we are not friends, buddy. We're not friends
Mm,
because you're not gonna tell me that your friend is like down or whatever. I don't care. We're not friends because you picked the side, obviously, and that's good.
that's not a friend.
Create boundaries. And then on the other scene was Sandoval and Sheena did exactly the same thing too.
Mm,
The two people who were so close.
yeah.
When Sheena was on the show and she didn't have anyone on the show like helping her or supporting her or anything, Sandoval was there.
Mm,
Sheena was the one who brought Ariana to the show. So basically, she is a big part of the reason why Ariana and Tom were together.
yeah.
And she feels that. She feels like she's not only losing a castmate, she's losing a friend, a real friend for 14 years, you know?
Yeah.
And she said to him, we can be friends. I'm going to miss you though, but we can be friends.
And good for her. I feel like Sheena has not ever been this good at really creating boundaries like this. And I think
Yeah.
sadly this like brought her to a new level in her own life of knowing, because clearly she didn't set great boundaries with Rachel, letting her live with her in her home. And Rachel, I mean, took advantage, had sex on her kitchen counter, in Sheena's bed and stuff. Like not okay type of things, right?
Yeah.
My God. And so, like, yeah, I think poor Sheena, like, she really has grown into a different person in spite of this because of it, and I'm hoping it's in spite of it, and I hope she still is the Sheena who wants to bring everybody in for love and, and all of that, but, like, yeah, it's hard. It's, she I mean, I just the fact that she'd known Sandoval longer than even Ariana, they
Crazy.
really blew it up. They really did.
Crazy.
Mhm.
So let's talk about a little bit about what should happen, like very briefly.
Mhm.
Let's start with saying that Ariana looked absolutely stunning.
I loved what she said, it was slutty funeral. Love it.
Yes.
I want that outfit for no other reason than to go get my mail. I don't know. I will go to the grocery store in it. Just give it to me.
I think it's funny. Was my girl Jennifer Aiden? She tweeted last night saying it's given Black Widow Vixen, and I love it. That's how she
Mm-hmm.
described the outfit. I think we all agree that that outfit kind of give like, yeah, I'm gonna put this shit to rest. This is a
Yes.
funeral for you, and this is the moment where I shine. That's why she's a bad bitch. She was like, I'm going to make sure that with this black dress, we put this whole thing behind, and I'm gonna move forward with my life because my life is good.
Yes. And it's gonna even be even better than it was with you,
Yeah.
scummed of all.
And one of the funniest comments that I think it resonated with me because I love the Wizard of Oz is when she said that swords it's Sandoval's flying monkey. I mean, if you
Yeah.
for those who haven't watched the Wizard of Oz, I'm pretty sure 99% of the population on Earth at least know what the Wizard of Oz is. In the movie, the witch has an army of flying monkeys that do the dirty deeds for her, So that's what she meant. I mean, Swords is in fact Sandoval's little flying monkey.
I as a child, I was in the Wizard of Oz play. I auditioned for Dorothy and ended up being cast as a tree that threw apples. It was a very pivotal role, excuse me. Um, but yes, I love the Wizard of Oz comparison because I see Sandoval. Well, first of all, I see Schwartz as the cowardly lion, Sandoval as the Tin Man because, well, he has no heart, and well, we all know who Rachel is. She's the Scarecrow. If I only
Yes.
had a brain. I think we need to keep it going. I like the Wizard of Oz comparison.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think Ariana did an amazing job last night on What Will Happen Live. She was very straight to the point
Mm,
on every question. The fans asked her about, you know, celebrities that know and have opinions on the scandal of it all. And she was very humble and kind of like
mhm.
fangirling over the fact that even J Lo has an opinion and know this Ariana exists. I'm like, yeah, girl, you're that girl. You're the moment. You're an icon. You're the
Yes.
legend right now.
Oh my god, I would be, like, shitting myself, though, if J-Lo had I'd be like, "Okay, like, thank you. I've arrived."
And I don't know if you watched the after show. For those who watch what happened live. If you have a Twitter account, you can go to Twitter right after the show at 10:30. They go live for like 5-10 minutes, and they have an extended, even better version of the show because since it's not broadcast on networks, that's when the Bravo Labs can like curse and like be
It's
a little more
uncensored, yeah.
shady. The question are a little more, like can go a little like more like edgy on the questions and whatever. Um, and Andy asked Ariana how she felt about Lisa Vanderpump saying that Sandoval left her for a beauty queen, and she said like, no, she never won a crown. I was there. I made signs, and Andy literally does like a mic drop sign. I was laughing because that was shady, but in the petty and in the fun way, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's true, she did not win a crown. It's been, like, this whole thing of debate about how she was Miss Sonoma County, but so I competed in the same system, the USA system, which is also Universe. And I used to always joke because so 3/4 of the judging, this of course for Rachel had to be true, is done before you even open your mouth. So you first compete in swimsuit. So the judges, when they meet you, aside from when they're like, "Oh, I'm so and so," and you're walking across the stage after a terribly coordinated dance that you're all, it's yeah. So you go in swimsuit and then you compete in evening gown. Then you go to bed. And the next morning you have the interview competition. So yeah. And the thing with I'm just gonna very briefly, since we're in pageant, clear this up. You know how she was saying, "Oh, well, Donald Trump, I'm not his fan, so believe me here when I'm saying this, decided that the peak age for a female is 28 years old." That is only half true. You are competing for a scholarship is technically the purpose of competing in a pageant. Could there be plenty of 32-year-olds that deserve a scholarship and would like one? Absolutely. I'm not saying there aren't. But that's one factor, okay? Another factor is you cannot be married or have children. So you're going to put your life on hold your entire 20s and continue to put your life on hold if that's something you want, right? And then if you're 28 years old, 18-year-olds are competing as Miss. Do you want to really be in your 30s competing against an 18-year-old in a bikini? No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yes.
So there you go.
Well, you guys, you got some inside scoop from the
Yes, we did.
pageant world from somebody who has been a beauty queen. So,
Eh, in her mind. Yeah.
uh, we Andy also got to read a tweet from Candace from Potomac to Ariana, and she was heavily fangirling over her. I love Candace too. She's so sweet. She's amazing. Um, and she can tweet with some shade. She was saying like, I just don't understand how Ariana has not burned the house down. I don't. Yeah, it was an amazing tweet.
Love Candace.
I know.
She's
I love her
everything.
too. Yeah, she's so fun. I mean, for Aaron, I know Aaron just said like I'm just guessing this. You say I don't. I mean about Candace. Candace, a funny story. I was okay with Candace. I wasn't a fan of her until I met her at BravoCon. That's
Mm,
when my image of her changed because she was the sweetest, most welcoming person I ever met in my life. Um, we sat down and spoke for a very long time. When she didn't have to do that, I approached her to like just to like quickly have a 5 minute like in like change of like hello, I watched your show, you're great, whatever. We sat down, we talked. Chris was right there next to her the whole entire time.
mm.
They looked very happy together, and this is in an environment where they didn't need to pretend anything. It was not in a place where they were working. It was outside of the convention center. It was a private party that was happening. So they were very, very nice. And seeing them interact changed my image of them
Hmm.
and changed my image of Candace. And since then, I'm a Candace,
I love her.
whatever whatever Candice stand name they have. I don't know, candy canes or whatever. I know candy canes are candies from Candy from Atlanta. Whatever Candice stand, I love her.
I call
Um,
her the Shakespeare of shade. I think she's so funny. I love her.
oh, hold on. I want to make sure that we read this because I want to make sure that we don't get
Oh,
Aaron. Aaron was talking about competing against an 18-year-old girl. She said, I love Candice. The I don't was I don't want to compete against an 18-year-old, which is
no.
true. I will not want that either.
Now, you kidding me?
like
Fries
I
mean
have the
nothing to an 18-year-old body.
like I have the experience, but not the same metabolism. So let's just go with
That's
that.
it. That's it right there. Exactly. I got stuff up here at least in the
Yeah.
brain.
Talking about press tour, I want to start by mentioning a big achievement of her. I think this morning we saw Ariana in different platforms. There are not just gossip columns. This is important uh, news and outlets. Let's start with New York Times. The New York Times had an
Go
whole
her.
article about her, and they posted a quote that I want to read, which is very important. This is what Ariana said to um, New York Times, talking about how being cheated on changed her life of being on a reality TV. She said, "Part of me feels like was the worst that can happen. The worst already." I mean, she said, "Part of me feels like what's the worst that can happen? The worst already did.
Mm,
So going forward, it feels a little bit like what can I not handle at this point?" So she's
hey,
taking this as a
in
starting
stride.
point, where she knows that she's strong and she can move forward. That was one of the moments that she had today. And then we go into TV press. She was on Today's Show with Hoda and Jenna, and she also was at The View. I'm gonna say this. I'm very surprised how some of the ladies of The View were fangirling over Ariana. Like they are Bravo holics just like us.
Hey, yeah. All roads, man.
I think the only ones that were not really Bravoholics, and obviously, I mean, I can
Whoopi.
see why is Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean that's
surprised.
not. I think that's not their market.
Not
But
their thing.
the younger hostess were fangirling. There was a part of the interview and Joy was like, okay, let's recap. This is what happened. So he cheated on you with your best friend, right? And you got a conversation with him on the episode, and he was mad at you, and she's like, oh my gosh, and she started laughing. Like she was like, hey, is he kidding for being mad at you? So a lot of the question, yeah, I'm like, fuck, like this dude, it's crazy.
I mean, yeah. I yeah, I didn't get to see it this morning. I was like trying to get my notes in just from the whole freaking episode, but I can only imagine Joy was I can hear her saying it. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, oh
uh-huh.
yeah, like she's like, wait, oh my gosh, is he for real? Like kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like what? Um, a lot of the questions were surrounding of her future and how she's gonna deal with the house. Everybody is telling her to sell the house as soon as possible, and I agree. I mean, the her moment of shining is now.
Yeah.
And why would she want to keep a house with that loser? She said that she's trying to sell it. She's talking to realtors.
Mhm.
Also, somebody told her to burn the house down. She's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Can't.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think it's very interesting how we as you know I guess we just love a American sweetheart story. We love as you know we we had this type of stories back in the
Mm.
days, like in the early 2000s, late 90s. A lot of the American sweetheart or the it girl stories came from this type of situations. But it hits different when the person who was, you know, done wrong, it's a very, very sweet person.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
tell, and we get to know them through these reality TV shows, and that's what she said when she was asked if she will come back to Vanderpump Rules, even though this is what happened by being on the show. So
Mm.
like, I signed up for it. I signed up
Mhm.
for my life to be public. I wanted it to be out. I wanted to expose them. And
Mhm.
even though exposing them means me being humiliated on national TV, at the same time, somebody's going to relate to this.
Yeah.
And it's part of, of my job. So I'm going to come back. If they have me back, I'll be there. And they said, like, yeah, girl, you're there.
Yeah. Oh god. Of course they're gonna have her. What are they? They're not crazy. Of
Yeah,
course they want her there.
definitely not. So that's I want to kind of end it right there because I also want to announce I have been mentioning this that for the reunion I want to invite different content creators to sit down and have a in-depth conversation on the reunion, and obviously with the reunion comes talking about the whole entire season.
Mhm.
So as part of the panel, I want to announce that yes, Caitlin is going to be part of the panel too.
Oh yeah.
I have Zach from No Filter with Zach. I've been talking to Blake from Blonde Hair Black Heart,
Mhm.
Jenny from Jenny Blaze.
Mm.
Um, there is one team of people that I really want to, even though they've been on my show. Also, the real Andy from Beverly Hills is gonna come on it. Uh, uh, Also, Candy Washington is gonna be here too. Um,
Goodness.
then I want the Brat Bros to come, and I'm gonna campaign for that. They've been on my show, and I think I want some straight guys to give their opinions on this whole entire thing.
Listen, I we've certainly gotten plenty of straight men's point of view, but hey, the more the merrier, I say.
Yeah, I love the Brat Bros. They're
Mm.
amazing. But yeah, I wanted to say that because I want you guys
Yeah.
to be prepared for what is going to be my version of a reunion, where
Oh,
we are going
jeez.
to sit when we're gonna sit down and talk about all things of Vanderpump Rules.
Okay, I'm gonna work on my reunion look. Get a spray tan, get a cute outfit. I'll be there. Uh-huh. I'll be
Awesome.
there.
So, Caitlin, anything that you want to share with us? Anything you want to promote? This is your stage. You can do it right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, y'all, I mean, come listen to Besties by Bravo podcast as well. I just had Eddie on. I have to edit, but if I'm not releasing tonight, I will be releasing in the morning. So check that out. I mean, yeah, I'm on more social media channels than necessary. So I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I even started a Reddit. Jesus. So yeah. And Eddie, thank you for having me and thank you for coming on mine earlier.
No.
And I'm excited to do the panel next week. My goodness.
Yeah, it's been quite the long road to the end of the scandal of it all. So, and it's going to be really explosive. That I know.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's going to be crazy. So we are not done with jaw dropping information.
God, how much more can we handle?
That's why we need a vacation afterward.
Yes, going to the beach.
No, and the thing is, like I said before, being a Bravo content creator means you don't have a vacation because when we are
No, you
done with that
don't.
with one thing, the next thing happen.
It's
So,
true. It's true. We don't sleep hardly at all.
and if you guys liked this podcast, and if you guys like the information that we brought you tonight, and if you enjoy my blabbering every single episode about every single show on Bravo, you can go ahead and please subscribe to my podcast, uh, Martini with Eddie. That's Marteanis with Eddie. That's EDDY. You can find me on pretty much every single platform where you listen to your favorite podcast. Also, we as podcasters, the only thing that we ask for you, beside the subscription to our podcast, is to leave us a rate. You know, just a 5 star if you like it, and if you don't like it, also give a 5 star because at least you were entertained by us. So,
Yes.
with that said, it's the only way that we as podcasters survive is by you guys showing us some love.
Yeah.
Also, you can find me on YouTube. Like right now, you can be part of the conversation. Once again, I want to thank everybody who was here: Aaron, Kane, Trent, everybody who was here. They come every week, and I mean every all the day because we have 3 live a week. Thank you for always sticking around. You can go ahead and also click the notification button so you get notification when I go live, when I have guests, awesome guests like Caitlin. That's on YouTube. And if you want extra daily tea, you know where to find me as Martini with Eddie on Twitter and Instagram, or my website, martiniwitheddie.com. Also, I have joined cameo, so you can get a little cameo from your favorite opinionated gay with a little side of Bravo shade for your birthday, divorce, and whatever. Even if you just want me to talk to you, it's $20. It's not that expensive. I'm not that expensive. I'm affordable.
Oh.
I'm an affordable luxury.
Oh,
So,
yes. Hardly. Worth
so
every penny.
that's right. You guys, thank you so much for sticking around. More Vanderpump's gonna come, more shows, more Bravo. And like I always say, bye, besties.
Bye.